What's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. I am Ro. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining me, and if you are returning, thank you so much for coming on back. The usual intro, right? I didn't like my first take, so this is a whole new week, whole new setting, and we're trying it again. So this is take 2 of telling you guys about how I manage my 9 to 5 and being semi-consistent on YouTube. Now, I think this video can sort of kind of apply to others who are juggling not only their career but also a business, or looking to start a business, or if you're just juggling more than one thing in general. This is just my take on how I juggle my two things, being my 9 to 5 and my YouTube channel. So just a quick backstory: I work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, so that's a true full-time job. I work 40 hours a week. Sometimes I do go over 40, but for the most part I stay within that 40 hours a week. So let's hop into exactly how I manage my 9 to 5 and being consistent on YouTube. Semi-consistent. So before I hop into like the logistics and the specifics, like my schedule and planning, there is a lot of self-evaluation that goes on before I even get to making my schedule, and a big part of that is just knowing my end goal for both my career and with my YouTube channel. I ran across someone's Instagram and they said they're not opposed to people having jobs, only if the job makes sense. And I am totally comfortable with having a 9 to 5 and keeping my 9 to 5 for long term, because number one, I'm learning a lot, and my career makes a lot of sense for my personal end goal. With YouTube, yes, it's a hobby and yes, it's a form of creative expression, but I knew that it could be so much more and I could possibly turn it into additional income. So I sat down earlier this year, and I decided that I wanted to make YouTube a part-time job. So me knowing my purpose and my end goal with both, then I'm able to evaluate how exactly can I get there and how much work is required to get to that end goal. The number one thing is knowing the end goal and your purpose in both your career and whatever your secondary thing is. So after assessing just how much work is needed and required to get to where I'm trying to go, with that in mind, I also have to know what my limits are. So my me time and making sure that I am taken care of in whatever way that may be for the time, it's priority over both my 9 to 5 and YouTube. So I try to make sure that I'm able to do what I have to do at work, do what I have to do on YouTube, but also make sure that I am taken care of. So that's what I mean about knowing my limits. Just how much is too much, but also making sure that I'm doing what's needed to be done to get to where I'm going. Because I know if I'm not in the best condition, that's going to reflect in my performance at work, and it's also going to reflect in my energy on YouTube. Knowing my limits wasn't something that I just knew off bat. It was definitely trial and error with YouTube. Is this a lot on my plate, or am I not managing my time properly? So this next thing piggybacks off of knowing my limits. I take breaks when necessary. Now this is more so based on YouTube than with work, because YouTube is technically on my own schedule. At work, I'm on the company schedule, so I'm able to take more of a break from YouTube than I am from work. But however, with work, there are times when I do take breaks. I'll take advantage of my vacation days, paid time off, and sometimes it's just a matter of having a conversation with your boss. So taking breaks when necessary, but a lot of times I don't have to take breaks if I manage my me time properly and I'm actually taking advantage of my time away from both things. Another basic thing that has really been a game changer for me is being productive over being busy. Say for instance, I edit, and one day it took me 10 hours and one day it took me 3. What was the difference between that 10 hour and that 3 hour? Well, in that 10 hours I talked on the phone, I took a break and I ate, I wasn't clear on my vision, I was on my social media distracted, versus the other time when it only took 3 hours and I was completely tunnel vision to that one thing. I wasn't on my phone, I didn't take a break, I wasn't getting up getting food, I was completely zoned into editing. So when I'm actually doing something, I try to take away all distraction from that thing. It saves me so much time, because I really don't have 10 hours to spend on editing. I really don't. It's the same at work. Yes, I have to be at work 8 hours a day, but in actuality, if I really sit back and look at how much time it takes me to complete my assignments, it only probably takes up 3 or 4 hours out of that 8 hours. So that's what I mean about actually being productive. Before I get into talking about my schedule, one thing that has helped me out tremendously is not being so set on my planned schedule. Like, yeah, I may plan out, okay, I want to record this day, edit this day, yada yada yada. There has been a lot of times when that schedule has just not worked for me. Though it may work majority of the time, sometimes it won't. So I try not to get too wrapped up in that planned schedule. So that has helped me to learn the skill of adaptation and just being able to work under different conditions. So definitely not being so obsessed and like, oh, I can only go by the schedule that I had planned. Absolutely not, because that's just not life in general. Life doesn't go the way you want it to. So I don't expect for my schedule to work always. But this particular tip is directly towards YouTube, and that's, I think I've said this in a few videos, but just making sure my content actually aligns with my life, so it won't be such a hassle to record or to make content or to plan content. But say for instance, I do work a 9 to 5 and I'm trying to create contents about bungee jumping. Like, that would require a lot more planning, organizing versus the videos that I make that actually align with my lifestyle, and I can actually do this without it being such a headache and a stress. I think I explained that correctly, but we shall see when I watch it back, right? So yeah, now we can get more into the logistics of things like my schedule and planning and all of that good stuff. So the first thing, of course, would be planning, and that usually starts with brainstorming video ideas. There's no set place for me to brainstorm. I don't get up on a Sunday morning and go to my desk and sit down and brainstorm. I brainstorm wherever I am. I can be in the Walmart parking lot. If a video pops up in my head, I write it down in my notes, and when it's time for me to really plan out my videos, I will put that idea on the list. I keep a journal here at my house, and like I said, I have my phone, and I do have a journal at work. So wherever I am, I'm able to brainstorm and write down my ideas. And I write down every single idea that I have. Even if the idea isn't a full thought yet, if I just say, okay, Christmas, I can just write down Christmas. And when I'm able to really sit down and brainstorm, I at least have that topic. This goes again into the self-evaluation. I know that I am very forgetful, so if I don't write things down, it's kind of like a lost thought. It's very rare that the thought will come back to me, so I'm very big on writing my ideas down. And then from there, once I have the idea in mind, I figure out which video ideas are actually good ideas or ones that I want to save for later, or whatever the case may be. I'll take those ideas and I will plan those out. There are a lot of my videos that are completely freestyle. I just have a topic and I know that's the topic, and I kind of just get on camera and go from there. But for the most part, since my videos are kind of like informative, I try to make sure that I hit every single point that I'm trying to relay to you guys. So in order to do that, I do have to plan out most of my videos. There's not necessarily a script, but I definitely do write down the points that I need to make just so I won't forget them. And so that pretty much wraps up the planning part. It's just a matter of brainstorming and then planning out each individual video idea. The planning part is done. Now it's time to schedule. It's time to get the schedule going. That's such a big factor because it requires time management and also, again, self-evaluation. What works for me? How I'm breaking this down in the video is pretty formal, but in real life it's really not that formal. If I were to break down my schedule, it would be filming days / recording days, editing days, and uploading days. So the first thing I think that I decide is uploading. First question regarding uploading would be, how many times a week am I realistically able to upload a week? And also, which days make the most sense to upload? For me, I like to leave about 2 to 3 days in between my upload, just to give myself time to edit the next video and just make room for the unknown. Because like I said, my schedule does change. There can be times when I don't like a video, so I have to re-record it, like I had to do this one. And with that schedule, it gives you guys time to actually go and watch my previous uploads. And next would be my filming days. Again, for me doing self-evaluation, when I get off work, I do not want to be in front of lights and cameras. And for that reason, I typically record on weekends, specifically Saturdays. Saturdays work for me. Sunday, I really do see that as a day of rest, so I try my best to rest as much as possible on Saturday and get my mind ready for my work week. I don't know if I said Saturday or Sunday. I meant Sunday as my rest day. And a really big reason why I record on the weekend is because of daylight. There's much more daylight to work with on the weekends versus the weekday, because on weekdays I am at work and by the time I get off it is dark outside. So I definitely prefer to record in daylight. Sometimes I do record at night depending on the mood of the video. And also on my recording days, I record in bulk. So I may record 2 or 3 videos in one sitting. So that really helps me out because I could have 2 free weekends of not having to record, and I can go off and be with friends or just relax for a weekend or go see family, whatever the case may be. A lot of times I'll just change my shirt or something, or sometimes I'm wearing the same thing in the video. You never know. But we got the upload days out of the way, recording and filming days. Now last is editing days. Again, back to self-evaluation. I do not mind coming home from work and editing. I don't mind dedicating 2 or 3 hours after work a few times a week to editing. It doesn't alter me at all, and I honestly enjoy editing. I really don't care to edit on the weekend. So if I can try to get my career work and that editing work, which is like the true work of YouTube, if I can do all of that within a week and only have to do the more fun stuff like getting dressed and recording on the weekends, I prefer to do that. Once upon a time I was able to edit at work, but since I now edit on my iMac, I'm not able to do that anymore. But hopefully I'm able to get a MacBook soon and I'll be able to edit at work again. That also saves me a lot of time, which gets me back into my next point. I do take advantage of my lunch time. So if there's something that just needs to get done, but if it's just some quick editing or uploading, I do take advantage of my lunch time. So let's kind of run through what was discussed today. First is knowing my end goals for both my career and with YouTube, knowing my limits, making sure that I'm prioritizing my me time, making sure I'm not overwhelming myself, but also doing what needs to be done to achieve the end goal, taking breaks if needed and if necessary, learning the importance of productivity, making sure my content is aligned with my life so it won't be such a hassle to even get in front of the camera, planning out my videos, brainstorming it. And once I've decided the video ideas that I actually want to record, sit down and plan those videos out thoroughly and making sure that I make a thorough and effective schedule that works for me. It's just a matter of time management, having a goal and a purpose in mind, and making sure you're working effectively with each hour of the day. Every hour of the day has a significant value, whether that's being dedicated to the job, being dedicated to your secondary thing, or being dedicated to yourself. Every hour of the day has significant value, so just use them wisely, being as effective as possible. So let me know down below if you guys are juggling multiple things and how exactly do you juggle them. I want to know. I'm interested in hearing about it, so definitely leave it down in the comments. Or of course you can hit me up on my Instagram or my email. Both are according to Ro, and my email being according to Ro@gmail. Next year I do plan to incorporate a business, so I'll be juggling 3 things next year, and let's see if this conversation will be different come 2021. But don't forget to leave the comment below about the things that you are juggling and how you juggle them, and I will see you guys in my next video. Mwah.